Let me try and explain why I love writing and why I could never be me without it. Write, hope, faith, repeat. That's what I have been saying to myself for a few months. Whenever I write, I always feel more hopeful, and whenever I feel more hopeful, I have faith that I will be okay. I repeat, I keep writing, and I get to live my perfect little life. I have always said that my writing doesn't come out of me, like I am just a vessel that captures the writing, as if a muse had gifted me these pictures and words in my head, and it was on me to bring them into the physical world. When I started writing stories outside of schoolwork, I couldn't believe that I could come up with the ideas on my own. It was just not possible because I was me and it couldn't be. I was 11 years old and I already knew I wasn't good enough for this world. The me that I was, the sickly child, couldn't fit into the mold. Now, at 29 years old, the muses feel like soft kisses on my cheek. They whisper that my writing can be free and then they leave me with hope. I tell myself I am good enough. The world can say whatever it wants. I am choosing kindness. It's no surprise that writing started out as an escape fantasy. I created everything I wanted, then I imagined myself into those worlds. My stories have always been from a first person perspective. The waves were splashing against my legs as I stared at the open ocean. I imagined, I wrote, and I escaped. Sadly, I don't have the file for the first book that I wrote, so I don't know how many words it has. But over the other four unfinished books I have written, there are 160,794 words. And over all the different versions of the books for the Solus Chronicles, there are another 184,398 words. That's a lot of escape fantasies. The Solus Chronicles are the only stories I write now. I have the poetic essays, the poems, and my journal, but all my stories belong to the same world, the ultimate escape fantasy. Sometimes you just have to leave reality for a while. I love Earth with all my heart, but it's hard to be here all the time. I don't think writing stories will ever stop being an escape, and I don't mind. My other writing, that's not an escape though. I used to call my journals diaries. The diaries were more of a collection of my daily life, but they morphed into a way to get my thoughts out of my head. On paper, there is a beginning and an end, and in my head, they just spiral. Written down, my thoughts are captured forever, for no one to see as long as I am alive, but proof that I have lived. I do write my journals as if they are going to be read after my death. They will give context to the writing published during my lifetime. When I die a famous artist, having written hundreds of poems about birds, people might want to know why. My poetic essays and poems are a more recent addition to my writing. Before writing my text for the Poetry Slam from my university in 2022, I had never strayed from stories and diaries. True colors was the theme, and I knew I had to write something true about myself. I've always wanted to make people understand. I needed to try something different. Writing that poetry slam was scary. It felt like opening my diary to an audience, but I had to. It was around 6 months after my diagnosis. What a coincidence. Knowing about fibromyalgia changed everything. It was the first real step towards freedom. I knew pretending my body was normal was not an option anymore. And once you throw that first normal overboard, others might follow. I just started caring less and less about what other people thought. It might sound dissonant to say I want people to understand and that I try not to care about what people think at the same time, but it's not the same. I want people to understand because I want people to be kinder. I try not to care about what other people think about me because I want to be happy. I just want to do my part to make this world a better place for everyone. My poetic essays and my poetry are one way I try. The Soulless Chronicles are another way. That story is not just an escape fantasy. I love ethics and philosophy, and I wanted to create something that encapsulated all my beliefs, like my blueprint for a good life.